Hey mamas, and welcome to the Entering Motherhood podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Marie Bilger, a wife, mom of two, VBAC mama, and doula. Join us every episode to learn from professionals, special guests, and moms just like you, ensuring that you know what you need to know and discover things that you didn't know before. I believe in you. Let's doula this, and let's navigate the transition of entering motherhood together. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Entering Motherhood. Today, we are diving into a topic that I am super excited about as both, a mom and a doula, and that is building your birth team and really trying to focus and see what that looks like, know what your options are, and really hone in on that. So, who you choose to surround yourself with during pregnancy, birth, and postpartum can really make a massive difference in how you experience the whole process and situation and experience. So what I really want you to take away from this is that your birth team is your choice and no one else's. And I want you to remember that. And although some situations, things will fluctuate and you can't truly solidify who will be there, just know that you do have options and choices. And I hope that in talking about this, it makes it a little bit more clear and helps you really determine what your birth team looks like and how that will be set up. So I also wanted to point out that this is actually a whole module in our childbirth education course, the Own Your Birth course, which I will link in the show notes. But I just thought it was something that's so important that I wanted to share it here as well on the podcast. But if you want it a little bit more in depth, you can always check out our course and get a whole bunch of different resources and workbooks and printouts and checklists and everything else that is involved with our course as well. So let's just keep getting into this and talking about your birth team. I first want to start out by reminding you that your birth team can literally be as small as one person. It can be you if you are interested in free birthing or having maybe just your partner or very minimal birth team. That can be what it looks like, or it can be huge and massive, and you can have a whole party and a whole crew, and it can be you and your partner and your doula and a photographer and a videographer and your provider and another birth assistant and maybe your friends and family. And it can just be everybody there. If you are giving birth in a hospital, sometimes your team just naturally grows larger. There is multiple nurses depending on how long you're at the hospital. You are rotating nurses every few hours. Typically, they're on a 12-hour shift. So maybe if you get there and then there's a shift change, now you have multiple different nurses that have helped you and been a part of your birth team. There might be residents, there might be specialists that are part of your team if there's certain situations going on. So it can really be as small or as large as you want. And I just want you to remember that and know that. And the important thing here is no matter how big or small your team is, everyone in that space should fully support, honor, and respect your wishes. And really making sure that you're communicating with your birth team beforehand goes a long way in doing this. And maybe if you are birthing in a hospital, you can't necessarily talk to the nurses beforehand. You don't know who's going to be on call as far as providers go if you're seeing multiple providers at a time, but you can be talking with the staff as frequently as possible or going on a hospital tour and getting a feel for what the nurses are like, getting to know your surroundings, getting to know the situation, asking around and seeing what is that hospital like? What is the staff like? What is other people's experiences with that? And then obviously, if you're having a home birth or a birth center, you are more familiar with who is specifically going to be there. But in any case, they should be there to fully support you and honor you and respect your birth plan and your wishes and what you are seeking as far as your birth goes. And this is really important because birth can be one of the most intimate, vulnerable times of your life. And, you are making different noises, making different sounds. You might be throwing up, crying, screaming, laughing, having all of these different emotions and feelings. And you want to just be able to be completely relaxed and not worried about who's judging you. You want to release as much fear as possible. You want to really just lower any external friction or roadblocks that might stall your labor or delay you from being able to feel safe in that space. So, this is really why creating that bubble, creating that birth team, creating that space is super, super vital and super, super, super important, because your comfort directly affects your birth hormones. When you feel safe and supported, your body is able to relax and release oxytocin and just really help labor progress. If you're feeling judged, if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you don't appreciate who's there, or if you don't want them there, your body can really be holding back and slowing things down and not allowing you to get to a place that you need to be and be in that right headspace, that good mindset, that relaxed and vulnerable state. So your team isn't just about emotional support, it's literally about helping your body do the work and physically help you bring your baby here. Honestly, there's going to be some times where people are just going to want to invite themselves. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a friend, and they are just assuming that they'll get the call and they're going to be there and they're going to know when you are in labor, and they have assumed that they are going to be part of your birth team and part of the birth. And while it might feel easier to just say yes in the moment, or sure, we'll call you, we'll update you, or they are fully aware of what hospital you're going to be at and they are tracking every movement and really looking at what's going on and texting you constantly, you really have to consider if you truly want this person in your birth space or not. And it's okay to say no. It's all right to have that boundary set and let them know, hey, we'll notify you. We'll let you know when we're going to the hospital or the birth center or when things are getting started. But we really would appreciate it if you weren't there until we were in the postpartum room or we were home or whatever it might be. Like letting them know what the plan looks like and having them be aware of those boundaries and that expectation beforehand can really just ease any anxiety that you have about them showing up when you're pushing or barging into the room or being at your house when you are laboring, whatever it might be. Really kind of just explaining that, being very kind and loving, and really just kind of advocating for yourself and saying, no, like this is the plan and this is how we're moving forward. You can say, we're keeping the birth space very private, but we'd love to celebrate with you afterwards. You can say, this is a really intimate time for us and we're choosing to keep our circle small. And just know that your boundaries are valid and no one, not even family, not even the closest family members that you might have, is automatically entitled to a spot in your birth room or that birthing process. So just be aware of that and just know that and start thinking about what that looks like if that's something that you think is going to be an issue when you're building your birth team and thinking about what birth will look like. And of course, I want to talk about doulas because this is a huge piece of the puzzle. And I think in any capacity, having a doula there is going to be amazing and really beneficial, but also choosing your doula and having somebody that you feel fully confident in is going to make a difference as well, because just going down the checklist and saying, oh, I have a doula, oh, I have a doctor, oh, I have a midwife, whatever it might be, is not going to be the same as you get to choose who these people are. And so a doula is a trained birth support person who is there for you. Their primary focus is you, the birthing person, and their role is to serve you in whatever capacity you're truly looking for. And while your doctor or your midwife is there with a more medical focused care, your doula is providing continuous support for you physically, emotionally, and really advocating for you. And research shows that having a doula is linked to lower rates of intervention, shorter labors, higher satisfaction with birth, and just overall such better outcomes. So the research is there. It really shows that having a doula is linked to so many benefits. And if you don't already have one, it's never too late to start looking. There is always the potential that there are doulas in your area that aren't booked yet, even if you are a few weeks away or you are many weeks away. Finding a doula can be completely possible, and it has the potential to change your birth experience. So always keep that as an option. And then going a little bit beyond the basics of a birth team, when you think about birth team, it's not just your medical provider, it's not just a doula, it's not just your partner. There's so many other roles that can support you depending on your vision for what you see as birth. And there are birth photographers, videographers there to capture the moment if that is something that you are looking for. There are sibling doulas, which are there to support your older children. If you are heading to the hospital and it's the middle of the night, you can have somebody come and be on call for your older children. If you are having a home birth, you can still have a sibling doula there to occupy and play with your older children while you are laboring and focusing on what you need to do. There are postpartum doulas. There are meal support doulas, personal chefs for immediately after birth or in the first few weeks postpartum. You have chiropractors, acupuncturists, massage therapists. All of these people truly are making up your birth team and caring for you during pregnancy and birth and those initial few weeks, months postpartum. It's all about thinking creatively and really trying to nail down and determine who you want near you during this time and what kind of energy you want in the room, what kind of practices you want to set in place. There are so many different traditions to look into and consider. There is just a plethora of options when it comes to building your birth team. And it's important to really be aware of these things and get to know who can be there. So I want you to remember that your birth team can be small or big. It's honestly your choice. Everyone in that space should be there to support your comfort, your safety, your desires. They are there for you. Boundaries are not rude. They are absolutely necessary. Always consider a doula if you haven't yet. The evidence speaks for itself, and I am constantly going to advocate and support for having a doula present. Think outside the box. This is your opportunity to have a dream team, to have people there to fully support you. And like I said, this is explained a lot more in our Own Your Birth childbirth education course. There are worksheets and opportunities and ways on helping you get super clear about who you want by your side and how they can best support you. So I hope that this episode gave you some clarity and maybe even a little bit of permission to rethink who you really want at your birth and what that looks like. If you have already chosen your dream team, if you have already, envisioned what that is like, I'd love to hear from you. You can come message me on Instagram at Entering Motherhood and let me know what cool, unique ideas you have put in place for your birth team and who you want to have at your birth. And maybe you just recently had a birth and who was there postpartum as well. So thank you for listening. At the end of the day, you deserve a birth team that makes you feel safe and loved and empowered. And I just want you to know all the options that are available for you. So with that, thank you for joining me and listening to this episode, and I'll see you later. Thank you, mamas, so much for listening. Remember, you are a rock star. I believe in you. Let's doula this. Let's crank it up a notch and let's kick it into high gear together. Hit that subscribe button, share this episode with a friend, message me, email me, call me, beat me. You know how to reach me. We're doing this, mamas. I am so excited to catch you here next week. This is your one-stop go-to place for helping you find the resources you need to make the best choices for you and your family during pregnancy, birth, and most importantly, postpartum. See you later, mamas.